Hey there, this is Kenneth Moore, and you're now watching Zion's Watchman Media. Okay, last time we saw how Moses was raised by his real mother for up to 12 years to meet the coming trials that she knew that he would face in the palace of Egypt. And now our story continues. After being raised by his mother, he was taken to the palace of Egypt, where he there received the highest military and civil training that the world afforded at that time. The Bible actually speaks of him in Acts chapter 7 verse 22, which says, "And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds." You see, Satan had wished by using the king of Egypt to kill off all of the male babies born among the Israelites to prevent a coming deliverer from rising up. But through this very act, God had turned it into an opportunity for Moses to receive the highest education and training that the world gave at that time. Moses became so loved by the Pharaoh that it was decided by him that he would become the next Pharaoh or king over Egypt. But there was a problem in this, for while the Pharaohs were to rule politically over Egypt, it was also part of the Egyptian laws that they had to take part in the mystery or the occult religion of Egypt. History actually tells us that in Egypt, the pharaohs were considered to be the reincarnation of the sun god Horus, and were thus viewed to be divine. The pharaohs were also viewed to be the mediator between the world of the gods and the world down here. This blatant idolatry and blasphemy was something that Moses' faith strictly forbade. So, which would he choose? The throne of Egypt or his faith? The Bible tells us his answer in Hebrews chapter 11 verses 24 to 26, which say, "When by faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer the affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward." Moses stands in the prime of his life with the scepter of Egypt being held out to him. Yet he refuses it and chooses to side with his downtrodden, despised people, those who had the true knowledge of God at that time. By faith, he looks past the wealth, power, luxury, and lust and pleasures that Egypt could have given him, and decides to focus towards that heavenly kingdom which he knew that all of the children of God would one day receive. Many people today are selling their salvation for an earthly kingdom, money, wealth, pleasures, and power. But all of these things will eventually end up to prove worthless if a true saving knowledge of Jesus Christ is not obtained in this lifetime. Jesus actually tells us in Mark chapter 8 verse 36, "For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" Brothers and sisters, there is nothing of this world that the devil can give us that is worth our salvation. This is the mindset that Moses had, and this is the mindset that every true child of God will have in these last days. So the question is this, to you: are you living for an earthly kingdom, the money, wealth, power, lust, and pleasures that this world can give you, where moth and dust does eventually corrupt? Or are you like Moses, focused towards that heavenly kingdom, where the crowns that the saints receive there never fade away? I hope it's the second one. This has been Kenneth Moore from Zion's Watchman Media. And as always, until next time.